Hey there guys, my name is Alex Sutherlin, or you can call me Mr. Sutherlin. I'm the orchestra director and assistant band director here at Sutherlin Intermediate School. Welcome to orchestra. You have 4 instruments to choose from, and hopefully you've already chosen the one that you've wanted to play. We have the violin, the viola, cello, and bass. Those go from the highest pitched to the lowest pitch. Violin, viola, cello, bass. Depending on which instrument you've chosen, there will be some things to consider when you're purchasing or renting. You will be, however, purchasing a few of these items. That will be the Measures of Success for String Orchestra, Book 1, and those are specific to which instrument you choose, so make sure you choose the right one for the instrument that you're playing. You also have to get a metronome or tuner. You can buy those separately or find a free app or a nice paid-for app on the App Store or Google Play. Or you can get a combo tuner metronome, such as the Korg TM60, which I highly recommend. If you're just going to get the tuner and use the phone for a metronome, which some people like to do, I would suggest getting the Snark tuner. Some other things you'll have to get are a shoulder rest if you're playing violin or viola, the rosin, and a polishing cloth. If you're playing cello or bass, you'll need to get a rock stop, preferably a belt type. There's going to be a D-ring on one side that hooks to the bottom of your stool or chair with a long belt that you can adjust the length to with a nice plastic or solid metal square or circle with a divot on top to put your end pin in, which we'll discuss later on in the videos. Some things to look forward to this year. Well, it's gonna be a little bit different, obviously. As you can tell, everybody's going remotely for the first 3 weeks, and this is how we're going to be doing our lessons a lot, at least for orchestra. And all of our lessons are going to be geared towards your instrument that you're playing. So there will be a violin video series, a viola video series, a cello, and then of course a bass video series. Now each video is going to be geared towards using the Measures of Success Book 1. Now that doesn't mean that you're just going to be using the book. There are going to be some other activities that are going to help us learn to play the instrument and learn to read the music. There will be some other materials that you'll need to purchase, especially when we get back into the classroom. You'll need to get a black 1-inch binder. Make sure that it has the clear sleeves on either side so you can decorate it and label it however you want to specifically identify your binder. Some pencils, maybe not some, a lot of pencils. Preferably if you get a mechanical pencil and some extra lead to go with it and some extra erasers, that'll be even much better, because then you don't have to worry about sharpening it all the time. Another thing to consider purchasing are some blank pieces of notebook paper. If you already purchased some for your other classes, just borrow a few. You don't need an entire brand new ream of paper for your notebook. And one more thing to consider purchasing, a highlighter. Actually 3. We're going to need a yellow one, a green one, and a pink one. If you get those 3, perfect. If not, you only get 1, that's okay for now. But make sure you do get some, especially again, when we come back into the classroom. That'll help us identify some specific parts in the book that we'll need to identify and practice identifying in other pieces of music that we'll be studying. Now, some interesting things about Mr. Sutherlin. I'm not just a teacher. I'm a professional musician, meaning I play instruments for money. I do get paid for gigs, we call them. My main instrument is actually the tenor saxophone. I studied it since I was in 6th grade. The alto sax first, then I buried for a little bit and went to tenor saxophone from 7th grade all the way up to college, and to this day, obviously. So I'm a jazz musician. I like to play jazz, I like to play funk, I'll do some rock stuff, some pop stuff, I'll do some hip hop stuff for some like funky rap music. I like to write music as well. And I also play the electric bass professionally. I would say professionally, not super well, but well enough to play in bands around town. I have traveled a little bit playing bass as well, and saxophone. And I also play the drums and some other instruments. You may also know Mrs. Sutherlin. She teaches over at Cibolo Valley Elementary. She's now the pre-K teacher. You may have known of her as a 3rd grade teacher, or may have had Mrs. Sutherlin. If you had, that's my wife. Some of the things about me that I like to do are working out. I like to lift weights. I like to hit the punching bag every once in a while. I don't like running. I am vegan. I have to put that out there, and we'll discuss that another time, or you can just Google that. I'm also Italian. I'm from Reggio Calabria, Italy. And my favorite food is pizza. So to conclude, you got to know a little bit about me. I would like to get to know a little bit about you. In the description below, you'll see my email address. With your parents' permission, please send me a video talking a little bit about yourself. Tell me your name. Tell me what instrument you like to play, or maybe you haven't decided yet and need some help deciding. Tell me why you chose orchestra, and maybe some favorite things about you, saying what you like to eat, what you like to do, what are your hobbies, do you like to play sports, do you like to play video games? I like to get to know a little bit about you because I want to know who I'm teaching this year. And parents and students, if you have any questions about our program or what to expect this year, feel free to ask that as well. I don't know all the answers yet, many people don't, but we do have a few plans already in place. One of the things that we're planning on doing is to start the first 3 weeks online. We'll be using Google Classroom specifically for orchestra, and students should know how to log in through that from 5th grade. And with that being said, I bid you adieu, and I'll see you guys later.